Hey all my future buyers and sellers out there, I'm here to teach you more than you knew before about the real estate process. And today we're going over 5 variations of how houses and properties are mysteriously valued. Let's get into it. Hey, it's Ella with Ella Estate Realty, and today we're going over the 5 methods of, it would almost seem like, guesstimating a home's value. Now, whether you're a buyer, seller, or investor, all this information is prime because knowing exactly how the professionals arrive at that particular number of a home value can only benefit each one of you. So make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end because by the end of this video, you will know the differences between the methods and the purposes behind each of them. Let the learning begin. First method is kind of a term with conditions more than a method, but it's called fair market value. And when those words come together, it's usually through your trusted real estate agent trying to better explain how to price your house. You start at fair market value, and whether you go above that price or below that price, it depends on your real estate agent's strategy. But it is a great descriptive word, and it's good to know the actual meaning behind it. And it is, in a perfectly logical world, a willing buyer and a willing seller coming together freely. So that means no stress, duress, or pressure. They're not desperate to make a deal. That means that the buyer and seller know the positives and negatives of the house, so no information is hidden, and that the buyer can easily go down the street and buy a different house that's like kind around the same price. So availability. But we, I'm sure, are more familiar with a market that is going haywire, where either houses are overpriced or underpriced, where buyers are throwing the fair market value out the window and paying way more than they should. That does happen. So just know that fair market value means in a perfectly logical world, hashtag non-existent. 2 words, assessed value. Now, I'll give it to you. It's pretty self-explanatory. Assessing the value of the property. I get it. But do you happen to know who's assessing the value? Any guesses out there? Well, I sure hope home buyers know, because that's exactly who's telling you how much taxes you owe on that piece of property. But I will say that investors and buyers, they can find this information pretty easily through county records, but I wouldn't base any estimations of the property's worth off of it. Why, you ask? Well, 2 reasons. Generally, tax assessors aren't invited inside people's houses, so they don't really know what's going on the inside. And the next reason lends itself. For some reason, homeowners don't actually report all their value-adding renovations. Could affect some numbers out there, so just don't be fooled by the numbers, everybody. Can I just take a quick survey of the audience? Maybe you guys can tell me and comment down below why everyone thinks that the internet is the go-to resource for real estate valuations. Why that's where they get their answers of how much their house is worth from. I mean, the internet's always right and fully accurate. But maybe we might want to take a step back and look at the faults that could come along with it just to be a little bit more informed. I love computers just as much as the next person. They serve a purpose. I mean, they accumulate data like nobody's business, effectively, efficiently, consistently. But can a computer in Texas really tell you exactly what the market in Seattle is doing? You know, can a computer calculate that the gutters are falling off and a local agent spots that and maybe adjusts the price a little bit? I don't know. Don't get me wrong, they've come a long way. Their estimations are more accurate than they used to be, but it's kind of like throwing a dart at a dartboard, where sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low, sometimes they're right on. But I wouldn't base your whole well-being off of these numbers. A better way to do this, in fact, is the next method. Introducing CMA. What does that stand for? Competitive market analysis. Who performs this? Your trusted real estate agent. How do they get such accurate numbers, you ask? Well, they get all access through the MLS, multiple listing service. It's, you know, a lot of abbreviations in this video. But the cool thing about this is that it has the full spectrum of lists of your area's pending, listed, and sold houses. So you can get a better understanding of what the current buyer is willing to pay for that house. And all in all, the buyer is who dictates how much your house is worth, other than an appraisal. Last method, but not least, is the appraisal. Now, if you've ever been through a home buying process, you know that you've been told left and right, up and down, every price of how much this house is worth, but you gotta get an appraisal too. And why, you might ask, is this? Well, banks wanna know exactly how much liability and risk they're putting out there. So even if somebody says your house is worth this much, they wanna sound out a licensed professional to make sure that their money is safe. By doing so, they are sending somebody that's doing almost the same thing as a real estate agent with a competitive market analysis, and they're comparing like-kind properties, but also they have to stick with a strict standard and guidelines of what they have to uphold. Pretty much, they have one job to do: give an unbiased opinion of how much the house is worth. Are you guys ready for your review or what? I mean, we're talking fair market value. Remember, perfectly logical world doesn't exist. Then we're talking assessed value done by your handy dandy tax assessor. Then we got the third party online estimations, which have their value and accuracy, but definitely make your way down to your local real estate agent where she'll perform a competitive market analysis that tells you what your house could possibly sell for in the current market and what a current buyer would be willing to pay for it. That's the key to that sentence. And then the last one is an appraiser, which comes in and has a number one goal of giving the most unbiased estimation of what the house is worth. Now, which one of these do you guys trust the most or think is the most accurate? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how I did today, because this video was a long one. Or if none of that works, just leave me some love with some likes. I'm Ella with Ella Estate Realty, and you have a phenomenal day.